When the repeal of Title II net neutrality protections officially took effect a couple of weeks ago, at the time I predicted that it'd probably be a while until we see companies brazenly roll out plans that violate net neutrality, given that the public is still really engaged on this issue and, frankly, still outraged that the FCC voted to repeal net neutrality. However, these companies are so greedy that they're already proving me wrong, because AT&T just announced their first post-net neutrality era plan, and it's ugly. It brazenly violates net neutrality. Now, as AJ Dellinger of Gizmodo reports, fresh off an apparently successful effort to gut a net neutrality bill in California, AT&T is taking a victory lap with the announcement of Watch TV, a skinny streaming TV bundle that finally shows us what the internet will look like without net neutrality protections. Launching next week, Watch TV offers 31 channels, including a handful from Time Warner, which AT&T just recently acquired after an impossibly bad legal case from the U.S. Department of Justice failed to stop it, for $15, and comes free with AT&T's recently announced unlimited data plans. Here's where net neutrality advocates will start pulling their hair out. Next week, AT&T will make available two different but equally terribly named unlimited plans, Unlimited and More and Unlimited and More Premium. Both plans offer a $15 monthly credit that can be applied to purchase DirecTV satellite TV service. The Unlimited and More plan starts at $70 per month for a single line and offers users access to Watch TV for free, though the video streaming quality will be capped at 480p. Unlimited and More Premium starts at $80 per month for one line and unlocked 1080p video and 15 gigabytes of hotspot data. It also gives subscribers the ability to choose one premium streaming service that they will get for free each month. Options include HBO or Cinemax, both Time Warner properties, Showtime, Starz, Amazon Music Unlimited, or Pandora Premium. The introduction of Watch TV and limited unlimited plans is the first true sign that we're living in a post-net neutrality world. We're now just a couple of steps away from some telecom making those "this is what the internet will look like without net neutrality" graphics a reality. So that's cool. Now, this is especially problematic because it violates net neutrality in two ways. First of all, they're intentionally throttling video quality. Users have to pay $10 more per month if they want to, quote, unlock 1080p video. Now, when T-Mobile capped video streaming quality and tried to charge people who wanted 1080p $25 more per month, well, they got in trouble with the FCC. And now AT&T is perfectly allowed to do this. In fact, what they're doing is legal because they decided to disclose that they are, in fact, violating net neutrality. Now, additionally, another way that this violates net neutrality is it violates the principle of zero rating. It's anti-competitive. They're giving you this Watch TV streaming service for free, and the goal here is to encourage people to cancel other streaming services. And if they're able to actually become a huge force in the market of streaming because of these anti-competitive policies, then can you guess what they'll do once they've eliminated their competition? Hike up prices immediately. Now, when you go to their website and look at these plans, you can see that they do in fact cap streaming, which, again, I mean, you can't be more brazen about violating net neutrality. But again, I have to reiterate because this is so ridiculous. Since they're saying we're violating net neutrality in not so many words, well, Ajit Pai would say, well, this is perfectly acceptable. They are disclosing the fact, they're being transparent about the fact that they are violating net neutrality. So, I mean, they're well within their legal right to do this. That is the absurdity of this post-net neutrality era. And we can all thank Ajit Pai for this. Now, even though this is the first post-net neutrality plan that violates net neutrality, companies like Verizon started to actually roll out similar plans last year ahead of the FCC's repeal of net neutrality, believe it or not. So companies like Verizon were a little bit more bold to do this back then because simply they just anticipated that Ajit Pai would in fact be doing their bidding. Now, what Verizon did was randomly impose a cap on streaming quality, and then 3 months later, they told customers, hey, you can remove this cap and get high quality video if you pay an extra $10 per month. Now, they wouldn't have gotten away with this if the FCC wasn't trying to repeal net neutrality. But they did, and the FCC did repeal net neutrality, and now we see plans from AT&T that are even worse than the Verizon plan. So this is what we're dealing with. And not to mention, AT&T has been exposed recently for having really fraudulent sales tactics that they encourage their sales team to do to basically lie to customers, and now they're violating net neutrality. So I can't help but ask the question, when opponents to net neutrality said that proponents like myself in favor of net neutrality were being alarmist, Ajit Pai said this as well, now that they're already violating net neutrality, are you going to come out and apologize and admit that you were wrong? We told you this type of stuff would happen. And not even a month later, they're already doing what we said they would do. And if this is what we have to look forward to just a month after having no net neutrality, again, imagine what the internet will look like 5 years from now or 10 years from now. The prospect of an internet without net neutrality is utterly horrifying. And the longer we go without net neutrality, the more likely it'll stay that way, because these companies will have the edge. They'll just have to defend a policy that Ajit Pai enacted. And when, there's a new administration that takes office and a new FCC chair that inevitably takes the place of Ajit Pai, they can say, well, look, we don't want to tip over the apple cart. We don't want to change anything. This is the way it's been now for a while, so we might as well leave it. So it's going to be harder to get back net neutrality the longer that we don't have it. So this is just disgusting. If you are a customer of AT&T, I would advise you to call and let them know how you feel. Call them and tell them that this is not acceptable. Any company that violates net neutrality should be shamed. And again, when you call and you talk to someone at a call center, you're just going to talk to a minimum wage worker. So don't yell at them, but simply tell them politely that you don't approve of the plan that they're rolling out because it violates the principle of net neutrality, and they'll just make a note of it. And sure, that's probably going to fall on deaf ears, but you can never allow your voice to be silenced. It's not acceptable. So this is incredibly disgusting. And again, anytime something like this happens, we have to point it out, and we have to let Ajit Pai know this is unacceptable, and this is exactly what we said would be happening. And Ajit Pai knew that this would be the case because, these violations of net neutrality, they've happened before. The reason why net neutrality protections were necessary in the first place was because these companies were violating net neutrality. Netflix was being throttled by Comcast. So, this is really disappointing, but we can never stop fighting back because this is the internet. And it's not just, the internet and memes at stake. This is democracy. We organize on the internet. We gain access to news and information on the internet. It's become an integral part of our life, so we can't just allow them to destroy it and get away with it.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.